order and our delicious triple dip cheesecake offer for our listeners only when you type in.
Car making you crabby, truck it.
Continue on South Sahuarita Park Road for 3/4 of a mile.
What's up?
Oh,
Alejandro?
yeah.
Nice glasses.
So like during lunch they put this up and then they
You guys got a dolly?
yeah, doorway dolly.
Nice.
So
What the heck?
Hey guys. I do the vlogging thing too. So. Yeah. Hello. It's a small class. This is really cool. So it's more like intimate. At first, when I first got on YouTube, I was spamming like horribly. So I spammed on Facebook, I spammed on Twitter, I spammed on YouTube. Usually the best way to get discovered as an indie filmmaker is to put a project together on your own, finance it on your own, and generate buzz and get, some attention on the fest circuit or online. That's pretty much the best way to do it. Like all the directors that most of you look up to right now, they all did that. And the directors who are getting discovered, they did that for the most part. Some people have more resources than others. Some people have like $400,000 that their parents can raise in their backyard. And others don't, like me, who's got to charge up all my credit cards. So, but when it comes to monetizing your work, especially if you go into debt making it, the unfortunate thing is, since we live in an age where everybody can get everything for free in terms of art, it's harder to monetize what you do. So if you go out on a limb and you spend a lot of money to make this, but then people are like, oh, that's cool, I'm just gonna get the torrent though because I just want to see it. And, oh, I really like that, and then they'll message and say, oh, it was a really good thing you did. I really like that. But they forget that it costs money to do that, and when you torrent, you're hurting the artist, because especially when it comes to the studios, they waste a lot of money. So I don't feel that bad. About torrenting with the studios because I've seen the kinds of money they waste, But on the independent side of things, it really hurts the artist because you really need that income, one, to get out of the debt you went into, and two, if you have any hope of trying to make another project, say if you don't hit right away, you can't do that if you're still paying 20 years worth of debt from the last movie. So, and again, I'm not saying this to shame anybody because it's just a reality. It is what it is. I do it too. So, but the reality is, from a business model, we have to be smarter and we have to find other ways to create content and create experiences for our audience that goes beyond just a Blu-ray or a DVD, which nobody even looks at DVDs anymore anyway. Everything is pretty much online. How many of you want to be like cinematographer? Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. Producing, yeah, how many would just want to produce content? Just be the person that makes it happen. Same guys. Oh, so this is the first time you're raising your hand.
Yeah, I want to do marketing and stuff. So something I want to work for a film studio and do marketing for them.
If you're trying to work in Hollywood, or if you're trying to do your own thing as an independent outside of Hollywood, I've seen writers find a lot of success writing their own blogs. Some working in Hollywood now. I've seen writer-director types like myself do the YouTube thing. Some have gotten discovered doing blogs. The name of the game is this. We live in an age where everybody can do everything pretty much. Any one of you, can go to Best Buy with mom and dad, get a DSLR camera, and start shooting stuff. Same thing on the music side of it. A lot of the software that used to be only available to people with lots of cash, well, now almost everybody can buy either that software or another version of it that can do the exact same thing for a fraction of the cost. How we can all get drones and get helicopter shots that you couldn't even dream of doing in the 70s. So the barrier to entry is so low that anyone can get in on it now. And that's a great thing because it's an opportunity for all of us. But it's also a double-edged sword because now, because anyone can do it, it feels like everyone is doing it. So there's this huge glut, this huge volume of content, this sea of content that it's almost like a toxic amount of content that it's hard for, industry insiders to sift through. Film festivals have to sift through it, and it has kind of a negative effect on the portals that you used to go to get discovered. Well, those portals are just being clogged with content now. I mean, if you take a festival like Sundance, which used to be the premier way to get discovered if you're trying to break in, well, they used to get like 400 or 500 submissions. Now they get over 12,000.
What's your advice for like beginning YouTubers that have like broken through like the first like 500 subscriber?
That haven't broken through? That have?
So like past the 500 subscriber mark, like where do you go like from that point?
To 1 million, man. Like, there's bigger numbers out there, Biggest advice, still make trending content. Whatever your niche is, find the trending content, make it. If you don't know what it is, find other channels that are similar to yours that do the same thing. Look at the videos that do well, and you can find kind of what the trends are. So he does basket weaving, you're into basket weaving. You check his channel out, find 5 videos that are super popular, then you search the topics he did on those videos and see if other videos that are all on that same topic, if they've all done well, even the guy who has 5 subscribers, but he did that video and it has 30,000 views, that's the next video you want to make. At least until you grow to a certain point. Then you start doing your own thing. What you got?
What camera did you start off with, like, for YouTube?
I started off with a Canon 60D, and I still use that. And I vlog cameras, GoPros. So you don't need a fancy camera.
Make it as a cinematographer.
As a cinematographer? Kind of the same thing, getting online, getting your presence established. But in terms of tech, work on your framing a lot. Grab a camera, take pictures, learn about the rule of thirds, practice. Shoot everybody else's stuff, get really good. I would advise go to school for it. You don't have to, but it's a good idea to, because why turn down knowledge? You don't have to go to an expensive school, though. You can go to a community college and learn just as much, and learn social media. So, yeah, just hop on the email, hop on Twitter. Like, learn who works at the company. Most of them have Twitter accounts, and just tweet them. Not many people do that, actually. Like, I have a lot of followers, but not many people actually tweet me. Like, it's crazy how you think people have tons of followers, but they don't have a lot of people who will just directly tweet and say, hey, I like what you do, yada, yada, yada. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, yeah, what you got? So do that too, use social media too. We got a repeat. Saw this guy earlier.
You can't stay away.
Hello, how many we got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How about actors? I didn't ask this. Actors? Oh, this guy. Come on now, you see me back here. Let me do an audition right now. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grace can go, I want to make a short film, I want to make a feature film. You could probably borrow like a couple grand from mom and dad. And if you're super frugal and super talented, you could like make a feature film that probably blows the socks off like half the people in like Kentucky somewhere. Post it online and get lots of views or whatnot. But someone else who had the same idea as you, who may not be as talented as you, can do the exact same thing. But how does that affect you? Well, if you are submitting your film to like film festivals, online to a certain extent, film competitions, well, if you're competing against 20,000 other people as opposed to 100 other people, it makes it a lot harder, one, to stand out because there are other talented people just like you vying for the same thing, but two, the volume of content that you're competing against is kind of toxic to pretty much everybody. So it makes it so that the people who are sifting through the content, they just get so inundated that they stop looking. It depends on what type of video I'm doing. Vlogs, not as much. But if I'm doing like a movie breakdown or something, it could take me a couple days to write the script. I usually shoot them in like an hour. And then it could take depending, it could take like a day to edit it.
If your goal is to be, say, a cinematographer, that's mine, or an editor, or a sound designer, or something like that, it's worth learning everything there is to know about directing and writing and everything else, so that maybe you could do side projects and stuff like that.
Definitely. I would never turn down, well, for one, it's always good to know for any field to learn the other fields. So for directing, it helps to know pretty much everything. For my first feature, well, I wrote it, directed it, produced it, did some of the cinematography for it, actually starred in it, did the score for it, did all the marketing for it. I did pretty much everything. The sound design, all of it, mixing everything. But that's the only way I could do it for so cheap, is if I did everything. But I could not have had that option if I did not understand how to do those things. So for an editor, I would say the same thing. The thing about when you're starting off that is a little tough is this. If you want to be a director, you've got to, make a short or a film that has a story. But how many of your friends do you know are actually writing consistently? And then of what they're writing, how many of the scripts actually speak to you? It's like, oh, this is something I want to make. That doesn't happen very often. So what do you have to do? You need to learn how to write so that you can write your own thing. Well, that's kind of the same thing for editors. It's like you want to get out there as an editor, but in order for you to really stand out, aside from like just doing oddball jobs at a news station or something, then you need to hop onto a project that's going to go somewhere. You can edit a lot of projects that just end up being duds and they just don't go anywhere, or the filmmakers are passionate about it but they never finish the project. But if you write something, then direct it, and then edit it, and then it goes somewhere, you just opened yourself up to everything else because you created your own ship to sail on. Even though that's a little daunting, because you're like, man, I just want to edit. Like, you're telling me I got to go shoot something? It is a little daunting, but it's the easiest way to have the most control over your destiny, is to learn the other jobs. Super long answer for a short question. Sorry. Sweet.
Would you suggest going to film school?
Yes. So there's this movement about like, oh, we don't need film school. Nobody needs film school. Okay, it's true. You don't need it. But there are a lot of things that come from film school that you don't get if you're not in film school. So I would not have been able to shoot my feature-length film had I not gone to film school for a couple of reasons. One, all the crew that I had were alumni from the film school. They were all my classmates. They all knew what I was trying to do. We had a close relationship because we worked on so many projects together. We all knew each other's style. We knew how we worked. So I was able to parlay those relationships into a feature. It was a pleasure talking with y'all. Thanks for your time. So do y'all want to take like a big group pic really quick?
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad you said. I'm a big fan, so keep doing it. Oh, it's really cool talking to you guys. Oh, thank you.
Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And then it had to be no more than 3 minutes. If it was like 3:01, it would have been
Disqualified.
Yeah.
One thing I would get away from, just in general, opening credits, just get rid of them. Don't need them. That's like
That was
a requirement.
Yeah, we had which sucks.
Because even though for the most part lenses and angles are a subjective thing, it's all about preference, but there are some things that tend to work better than others. Headed back to Tucson now, Tucktown. I got a couple meetings later on in the day. A little tired. I wish I could take a nap, but I don't really have time today. Just went through all my thank you cards. You guys totally didn't have to do that, but I appreciate the thought. For the most part, like, I really do enjoy talking to classes. I do have a busy schedule, but I always try to make time to get out there and kind of spread the message for the youth. Thank you. Ow.